Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate an interactive Shiny application built in R that helps us understand the relative frequency interpretation of probability. In probability theory, one of the most fundamental ideas is that probability can be interpreted as a long-run relative frequency. However, this idea is often difficult to grasp from formulas only. We may ask, how does probability actually emerge from repeated random experiments? This application is designed to visually answer that question. Now, let me explain the motivation behind this application. Instead of treating probability as an abstract number, we simulate a real experiment, in this case, repeated coin tosses, and observe how the observed frequency of heads behaves as the number of trials increases. Now let's look at the interface. On the left panel, we can see the true probability of getting a head, which represents the underlying chance in the system. We can also choose the number of repetitions, which controls how many times the experiment is simulated. On the right side, we see the output in multiple forms. First, the app displays the relative frequency value, which is the proportion of heads observed in the simulated experiment. It also shows the actual sequence of outcomes when the number of trials is small. Now let's focus on the main plot. The plot shows how the relative frequency evolves as the number of trials increases. At the beginning, the values fluctuate significantly because of the randomness. But as the number of repetition increases, we observe a clear stabilization of the relative frequency. The original horizontal line represents the true probability of heads, which we set using the slider. As we increase the number of trials, the relative frequency gradually converges towards the true probability. So this app demonstrates the law of large numbers, which states that as the number of independent trials increases, the sample proportion tends to converge to the true probability. So through this simulation, we can visually understand how randomness behaves in the short run, but becomes stable and predictable in the long run. Overall, this Shiny application provides an intuitive and interactive way to understand the fundamental concept of probability as relative frequency. Thank you for watching.